everyone, I'm Chris Ercoli, and welcome to your Week 9 edition of the HS Game Time You PickEm show. Joined as always by the prep dog, John Murphy. John, it seems like the games just get more exciting week by week, and boy, we have a couple dandies on the menu coming up this week, I'll tell you. First, our Week 8 winner was Mary Snow out of Redlands, 14 out of 15. John, I got to tell you, I was also involved 14 out of 15 in the tiebreaker scenario. Lost on the tiebreaker, and as they say, close only matters in horse grenades and hand.
Are you embittered by that?
Hand grenades and horseshoes, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Excuse me. All right, well, let's talk now about a little bit of football. The game that the prep dog's going to be at that also happens to be the game of the week, Citrus Hill and Tahquitz. Right now, P-Dog, 85% taking Citrus Hill. This game should be closer than that, right?
Yeah, they might be reacting a little bit to the news that Ben Moreno of Tahquitz is seemingly out of this game. He's getting a second opinion on his shoulder, which supposedly has a fracture in it. If it does have that hairline fracture, he'll probably be out for the season, and it's going to fall to his understudy, Fernando Blanco, who is supposed to be a good runner with a strong arm. And they couldn't be too bad off because they won their last game 66-27.
Pretty convincing.
Yeah. They've got that galaxy of stars with Asparis at tight end, Stewart at wide receiver, and Talton, and, of course, Jonte Price at running back.
Citrus Hill, though, they've got a little bit of power on their side.
Well, yeah, I mean, Citrus Hill, it's, the usual suspects. You've got Trevor Hodge at quarterback. We know he can run it or pass it. And P.J. Walker's gained a lot of yards on the ground, over 1,100 now. Stephen Van Hook on the edge. He's got 8.5 sacks. And then you have Young and Uten on the edge, catching the ball. So Citrus Hill, very dynamic on offense, as is Tahquitz.
Our next game, Rev and Ike. Right now, 84% taking Rev. Rev, you were out there at that game versus Redlands. The Smudge Pot, heartbreak city for Rev. Can they rebound against an Ike team that has looked quite good?
I think they can. Ike is really going to present some problems for Rev because not only is Ike very star-studded offensively with Marquand Harris at quarterback, and then you've got Trevin Island, who went by Keyshawn last season, can really run the ball. And then Jerry and Burton is maybe their best player, period. Very explosive playmaker on the edge. So offensively, Ike will give them some problems. Defensively, Ike might give them some problems because they've got Skip Fazio running the defense. And, he's one of the more, not that many people know about him as far as younger people, but older people will remember that he was the brains of that Fohai dynasty defensively. So, but Rev, they hit the speed bump last week against Redlands. They didn't have Kylie Fitz. They were missing Lowe's. But I look for them to bounce back and probably be the favorite in this game anyway. Taylor Thompson had a great, game last week. He's had some injury problems off and on throughout his career, but he was really rolling on the ground. And Coach Brook was finding inventive ways to pick up 5-6 yards and keep drives going, throwing, flanker screens and just a myriad of different offensive ploys for a team that doesn't really have, a home run hitter.
That is true. They do have to get creative on offense this year, that's for sure. And our next game that features two teams that definitely need a crucial league win, an Inland Valley League win, would be Rancho Verde and Arlington. P-Dog, right now, 2/3 of the HS Game Time Nation taking Rancho Verde. Are you convinced?
I'm really not convinced. I like Arlington with that duo of Ruben Kelly and Martez Duarte at running back. I mean, together they've gained like 1,600 yards on the ground, so they can really tote that rock. Defensively, they've got Daniel Castro, who he's got 5 sacks and 8 tackles per game. They're a hard-hitting bunch, as Citrus Hill found out when they played them. that game was, Arlington was sort of in control of that game until midway through the second period. So Arlington's a very tough team, and Rancho Verde has been a little bit up and down. They're a young team. Their last 2 games, they've outscored the opposition 86-19. But, they have the loss to Pauley, they lost to Heritage, they lost to Elsinore. So this is not, the well-oiled veteran machine that it's been in recent years, but yet a team with a lot of talent.
Should be a good game to say the least.
Yeah.
Last but not least, we move out to the southwest. We've got Murrieta Valley and Chaparral. Murrieta Valley, a team that ran into the train known as Vista Murrieta last week. They were a little too sloppy and paid for it. Chaparral, they just squeaked by Great Oak with a 7-point victory, but they remain undefeated. P-Dog, will Chaparral still be undefeated after facing Murrieta Valley?
I think they will, but possibly just by the barest of margins. I saw Chaparral early on against Cajon, and I was extremely impressed. They looked better than they have in recent seasons, especially with the duo of Justin Harris and Skylar Siebold carrying the ball. Harris is that, talking about home run hitters, he is one. And then they like to use Siebold late in the game if they're trying to melt away the clock because he's a very tough runner. And then on defense, they really, really fly to the ball, very quick and well coached. Andrew Madera is just having an incredible season, 7.1 tackles per game and 10 sacks. So he's a player to watch. And then Chris Stratton with 3 picks. Murrieta Valley, they lost last week, 45-17 to Vista Murrieta. No stunning surprise there. Some big plays hurt them, the long interception for a touchdown by Cravens and, a punt return for a touchdown. So they have to tighten some of that stuff up. They're still a dangerous team with Blake at quarterback. What we don't know is the status of Jacob Augustin, the running back who got knocked out of last week's game after,
It was a hard-hitting game.
Rushing for 50 yards or so, and we don't know his status yet. That'll be a key to this game. But I kind of like Chaparral anyway in a close one.
All right, P-Dog, thanks for joining us. That does it for our Week 9 edition of the HS Game Time You Pick'em show. Definitely plenty of good games out there on the docket this Friday. We'll see you out there on Friday night.